Alright, drafters, Wilds of Eldraine previews have officially started, and on the first preview stream, they've actually given us all 10 of the signpost uncommons for each of the colour pairs in the draft format. So we're going to go through them. We're going to go through them quite quickly. There's a bit of lore to go through them as well, but we'll go through them quite quickly because the main archetype analysis is going to come in my pre-release and draft guide, which will be coming once the full spoiler is out. But let's get straight into the previews here. First up, we'll have Sir Armont the Redeemer, and this is based off Beauty and the Beast. But something they're doing here is every single of the draft uncommons, these signpost uncommons, is based off a different fairy tale. So we've got Beauty and the Beast here, but in Wilds of Eldraine, they call that Armont and the Beasts. And they've all got this kind of Eldraine equivalent, kind of not. Sometimes it's a little bit flipped, and you kind of see as we go through. This cares about enchantments and auras. There's a mechanic in the set which puts aura tokens on creatures, and that's going to be something which is going to play into it. But this cares about enchantments being in the battlefield, auras enchant your permanents, and things that are going on like that. So as you're going through previous season, keep an eye out for green and white cards which either care about enchantments or create enchantments themselves. Black-White is a snow-white card, and it's neither or never, I'm not sure, stalked by nightmares, and this is known as Pale as Snow in the Eldraine world. And this one cares about bargaining and sacrifice. Bargain is a mechanic in the set where you can sacrifice a token, an enchantment, or an artifact, I believe, and you get an extra value. So you can sacrifice treasure, you can sacrifice one of those aura tokens I talked about earlier, which are all quite small but kind of useful, but you'll sacrifice them if you're going to get a good effect from them. And yeah, this looks pretty cool. It's a good way for Black-White to do things. They often care about enchantments and or artifacts and sacrificing, so it seems like a pretty cool place for this to be. Red-Blue is the classic Izzet archetype, and its instants and sorceries matter. And you've got Johann, Apprentice Sorcerer here. You can cast instants or sorceries off the top of your library, so you want to stack your deck quite full of them. And this is a really good reference to the Sorcerer's Apprentice, which I was originally a little bit skeptical on. I didn't think it was a very good reference. Well, it's a good reference, but I thought it's not really fairy tale. But when I looked into it, it is actually based off originally from a poem in the 17th century, I think, in Germany, where it was, the classic story of animating all of the broomsticks and chopping them in half and they become more, and the story that goes there. In the Eldraine universe, it's called The Magician's Misstep. It seems to be kind of similar, and this is caring about instants and sorceries, as I said. Green-Red is based on Little Red Riding Hood, known in the Eldraine universe as Ruby and the Wolf, and there's clearly some Once Upon a Time fans in the design team on this set. But we've got Ruby Daring Tracker here, and Ruby cares about creatures of power 4 or greater. Pretty cool mana dork in itself, and it comes down late in game as a 2-mana 3/4, which is pretty sweet. With haste as well, it's going to be a pretty good beat, pretty good early game to ramp out the big things. This turn 2 and then turn 3 cast a 4-drop, and you're going to be quite happy with something like this, I think. Green-Black, the Hansel and Gretel reference with Greta Sweet-Tooth Scourge, known in the Eldraine world as Greta the Witch Hunter. And this is a mid-range food deck. You can see here, cares about having food. You can sacrifice food to put counters on them. Enters battlefield, create a food token. Definitely some kind of food mid-range stuff we've seen in Black-Green before in Eldraine. If you've been drafting online recently, you've seen that as well. But yeah, I'm not surprised to see this one, but it will be pretty cool as well. Halfway through the archetypes now, there's a couple of codes for arena stuff on the screen. Like I say, it's always a big thank you for the people who do subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, do already. There's going to be a few things coming along. My wife's actually away this weekend, so I'm going to do a couple of videos, I think, over the time. And then soon enough, there will be the pre-release and draft primer, so make sure you're subscribing if you want to see all that. I've also got a couple more codes in the comments down below, so go down there. If you use a code, let me know in the comments. If you like the video, let me know in the comments. If you don't like the video, let me know in the comments. Just kind of do all of that YouTube stuff. It is definitely appreciated. Back to the archetypes, and red-white is Ash Party Crasher. So Ash is Cinderella, Cinder's Ash. You can see what they've done there. And Cinderella went to the ball, and this one is known as Brawl at the Grand Ball. We've got Aggressive Celebration. Celebration is another mechanic in the set, and it says it kind of triggers if 2 or more permanents enter the battlefield under your controller's turn. So you got Ash here. When it attacks, if 2 more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your controller's turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Ash. So if you get this turn 3 with a 1-drop, you cast this for 2 mana, you cast your 1-drop, attack with it, it's a 3/3 haste, and that's pretty good, especially if you already manage it in double spell. Red-White's obviously going to be able to do this. There'll be things where you can get more than 1 permanent in the battlefield, so yeah, definitely good aggro stuff that's going to get in quite quick. Simic this time is Troyan Gusty Explorer, the Jack and the Beanstalk analog here, which seems a little bit further away, but that's absolutely fine because they can't all really be like dead on hits. And in Eldraine universe, this is known as Kingdom of Storms. So I'm assuming the Kingdom of Storms is something to do with giants. I don't know enough about it yet, but Simic here, Cares about mana value of 5 or greater. You can add 2 mana using Troyan here. I'm going to call him Jack pretty much the whole time. Spend this mana only cast spells of mana value 5 or greater, or spells with X in the mana cost. And we've already seen a Goose Hydra in the set, which is going to be pretty cool. Blue, tap, draw a card, then discard a card. 1/3. It seems solid. It's going to be cool. You know, probably not the best, but we'll kind of have to see what payoffs will have at 5 mana or more. You can get a 5-drop on turn 5 here. Yeah, on turn 4 rather. 5-drop on turn 5 is not exciting. So yeah, it might be pretty cool. Blue-white is another non-traditional fairy tale, but one that I've actually always quite liked. In the Snow Queen, we've got Share of Numen Depths. This is known as the Queen of Frost in Eldraine, or the Frost Queen, sorry, in Eldraine. And this cares about tapping opponent's creatures. We've seen a Mythic, which is also cares about tapping creatures, which is really, really powerful, really good rate. But Share is pretty good here. And this battlefield, you can already tap something and put a stun counter on it, so it's going to stay tapped down. And when you tap creatures, it gets some good stuff as well. So it's a really, really powerful card, and I think it's going to be a pretty cool archetype, especially if you can get that Mythic. Like, yeah, that's going to be really, really sweet. Blue-black, and this strays a little bit more from the source, I think. We've got Sleeping Beauty, but this is a blue-black fairies deck, and it's known as in the Eldraine universe as Enchanted Slumber. So it's apparently a bit of a control deck, and as well as fairies, which is a pretty classic fairies archetype. I suppose fairies is sometimes tempo as well, but it's pretty classic. You know, a 2-mana 2/2 flash flyer, and it's going to drain your opponent as well, which is, yeah, it's really powerful in itself. We'll have to see how the rest of the archetype comes out. This isn't particularly controlling in itself, but it's, you know, a really cool fairy payoff. The last archetype I have is Rakdos, and this is the Pied Piper of Ham, which is another, again, non-classic fairy tale, but a story that a lot of people know. Known as the Dark Piper in the Eldraine universe. We'll have Tottentance. Swarm Piper. Like, this is rat tokens aggro, so cares about making rat tokens to get in, cares about sacrificing them and doing things with it like that. We've already seen quite a few rats in the spoiler, so it does seem to be well supported. And yeah, so rats are going to be a big thing here. Anyway, that's it for this video. Just a quick run through of the archetypes based on the signposts and comments that I've got. I hope you liked it. If you do, give the video a like, comment down below, tell us what archetype you're really looking forward to. I always love a Simic archetype if it's really good, but there's some really cool things here. I think I also like the look at the red-green one. You know, a hasty mana dork is pretty sweet. Yeah, there's quite a lot I'm looking forward to so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes out. But yeah, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch us again soon. Bye.